From the age of 6-year-old, I've always seen the spirit world. In that very first encounter, set me on a quest to be able to help mankind to see what I had seen, to be able to experience what I've experienced. For the last couple of years, I've worked tirelessly alongside of the spirit world to not just engineer courses to help people, but to reverse engineer mediumship in the way that the everyday person sees it, to make it not just a spectacle, to make it not magical, to make it normal. And I think I finally cracked it. In this episode, my friends, what we're going to be doing is it's not just like a video that you've seen before. And if you are watching this video, believe me, you've been guided here, you've been led here because you are going to get a crash course in the blueprints of how the mediumship mechanic works. I've simplified it down. I've helped thousands of people all around, and I've come up with one common across the board. Doesn't matter what country you're from, what language you speak, what understandings or ethoses you have. I've come up with this blueprint that will work for each and every person. And this, my friends, is the start of your mediumship journey. I'm so excited for you. If you're new to the channel, my name is Psychic Medium Jordan Cockburn, and I can prove with evidence of the afterlife. I've helped thousands of people already on this earth plane to once again be able to reach out and contact their loved ones in spirit from the understandings and the teachings, and now it's your turn. Each and every one of you, my friends, can become great mediums, and here at Help You Serve, we can give you the very foundations to forge your own unique understanding. Not to mention we have the loving and supporting Help You Serve family. Also, before we come into this video, I want to thank every one of the channel members. Like, seriously, I never thought I would even get one member, like, genuinely. And we've got hundreds of members now, hundreds of dedicated, wanting to be mediums. It's just mind-blowing to me to know that each and every one of you are taking the message of Help You'll Serve on board, and you are helping the spirit world to raise awareness for this noble cause. Also, thank you to every one of you who subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free, and it's amazing to see when people do subscribe. Also, if you are a subscriber, make sure that the notification bell is on so you don't miss out on any future videos. I'm a little bit sporadic. My ADHD riddled brain, sometimes I just put 3 and 4 videos out in a day. Sometimes I don't. If you have got the notification bell on, you won't miss that. Also, don't forget, we are now doing the Above the Grave podcast. This is an opportunity for every one of you to come on if you've got paranormal stories, if you've got spiritual stories, you've got awakening stories, near-death experiences, interactions with beings that you don't understand. You can come on, have a look, and you'll see them scheduled, Above the Grave podcast, and you can come on. All members can get a link, and you can come on and tell everyone a story and raise awareness. And last but not least, don't think I forgot about you. Thank you to everyone of the Development Circle. The latest, for those of you who don't know the Development Circle, every 2 weeks there's a live stream where effectively it's like the closest to one-to-one shooter you're going to get from myself. Answer any problems related to your development, etc., etc. That's enough of that. Right, first of all, the thing that struck me across the board with every person is intrigue. And I know that's kind of a normal thing. Like, you might even say, Jordan, it's not where you've been in your blueprint. But to me, there's always a cause for something. And when you've got an analytical mind like myself, there is always a reason for a reaction. There is always a reason that is going to start the ball rolling. I've found that there's some common denominators with this. The biggest one and the most obvious one is going to be grief. Grief is going to be something that is going to cast you into the shadows of sorrow, into those morbid places where it's hard to get out of. That there, my friend, is intrigue. That there is going to set you on your search to find answers in the spirit world. That's something good. Well, it's not good in the sense of that the person's passed, but it's good in the sense that it's going to get the ball rolling for spirit communication. Second of all, can you guess what this one's going to be? This, my friends, is the wants, needs and desires to learn about the spirit world. This is where you actively, each and every second of every moment of every day, you are wondering, how many of you watch paranormal series? how many of you like the idea of the paranormal? How many of you, without even knowing it, watch sort of movies that depict the spirit world? And you've just got this keen interest. This something that you can't put your finger on. There's something drawing you into the spirit world. That there, my friend, is another good sign. If you are somebody who watches mediums, you are watching entertainment. Oh, I say that right. In years to come, people will see that this is not entertainment. It was never meant to be in the public eye. It was never meant to be for people to make charades out of other people. It wasn't about to be about getting somebody who's vulnerable, who's desperate for answers, direction, clarity, and purpose in a given moment, and putting them on a platform and making them feel even worse than what they already do. And there's a lot of you going, oh, well, what do you mean, Jordan? That's all we know. That, like, literally, that is the way that mediumship is depicted. It is, and it's wrong. You shouldn't have vulnerable people on camera. You shouldn't have people who are at their wits' end, who are at their lowest of moment, going in front of an audience and getting a reading from a loved one. That's not normal. In that moment, the person who's getting the reading is not the one who's being helped. The ego is being helped of the medium. The medium looks, look what I can do. Look what I can do. I can give you this information, but to give you this information, I need you in this sea of faces. No, you don't. You could do it privately. You could do the reading for somebody not in the public eye. That's as simple as that goes. The only person who benefits in that, right, it is not the person in the receipt of the information. It is the medium. And that stops. That's when egos run amok. And unfortunately, right, like, ego is one of the biggest. I've noticed coming into mediumship, the amount of people who don't even acknowledge the heaven ego is, well, I mean, that's ego to start with, isn't it? They don't even realise they've got an ego. Every one of the courses I've done, every one of the self-development, everything starts at your ego. If you don't acknowledge an ego, if you don't realise you've got an ego, you have a very big problem coming into mediumship. And that's one of the things that we'll have to understand with it, right? We'll have to acknowledge these problems. In that scenario, you have Susan. Susan's bereaved. She's lost a loved one. She's pining. She needs that clarity. She needs that reassurance that her loved one is now not suffering. Goes to a world-renowned medium, or goes to a medium, sits in front of a sea of faces, and this medium singles her out and gives the reading. Do you think the duty of care in those moments on behalf of the medium was to look after the best of interests of that person? Or do you think that in that moment, that person could have received the reading in the comfort of their own home? They could have received it on Zoom. They could have received it without anyone else looking in on their personal affairs. Do you think that would have been a better outcome than doing it in front of a lot of people? Now, I hear you. A lot of people might think, well, actually, Jordan, why change it? Why fix it if it's not broke? Well, that comes down to your personal opinion, because I can prove that this is very, very broke. You have mediums claiming to be working mediumistically and they're operating psychically. You are having psychics who are claiming to be mediums and they're just cold reading the living. It's, I get it though, right? I get very passionate about it, and I believe quality control has been long gone. And some people may not agree with that statement because you may watch a medium and you may like them. I'm not saying that there's not nice people out there. I'm not saying that there isn't good mediums out there. What I'm saying is, though, the lack of quality control in mediumship needs to come back. And it starts with an understanding, clarity, direction, and purpose. If you have one of those key components missing from any reading, whether that be in psychic, tarot, mediumship, it is no longer a reading. This is where you are being readed. This is where somebody is cold reading you. They are questioning you. They are asking you information and then regurgitating it back to you. That's not... How many of you, right? You still might think I'm wrong, but how many of you have watched somebody on TV, or you've watched somebody on TikTok, or you've watched somebody and they've said, do you have a male? Do you have female in spirit? Because that's very normal, isn't it? For a medium who's acclaimed and are meant to be connected to an energy to be asking multiple questions. No. The medium should be saying, I have your auntie in spirit with me. She tells me she passed at the age of 46. She also tells me that her name was Janine. Janine passed in a tragic car accident. You see the difference between me asking you and me telling you. A medium should be telling you information. But the general consensus among mankind is we don't need that to happen. We're just going to accept anything as it comes. The spirit world, I have to give it the way the spirit world tell me. But okay, well, if that's the case, then why is this person shaking their head? They don't understand what you're saying. Well, I've just got to give it the way the spirit will tell me. No, you are wrong. In that moment, the spirit will do not come to the medium and give you wrong information. And that has to be at the very start of this blueprint. We need to realise that quality control in mediumship has gotten to the point where you have mainstream schools educating people that a psychic is a medium and a medium is a psychic. It's no different, right, in that respect, just because, and I'll tell you the reason why the confusion starts. A psychic and a medium have the same senses. Those senses, depending on the intent, depending on how they get their information, are going to work in the same capacity, but for very different directions. For example, a psychic is going to go forward with intent. Technically, it's not forward, but it is a direction of travel to give you a way of looking at it. A psychic's going to go straight forward and operate within one's psyche. A medium is going to go up into the spirit world. Technically, they're not up, but as a reference point, you see what I'm saying there. My intent as a medium is not to go forward. It's to go up. And I have to know that. I have to know that I'm going looking for spirit. If I'm a psychic, I have to know I'm going to work within one's psyche. The difference between a psychic and a medium, for those of you who don't know, a psychic is going to tell you information you already knew, but you didn't want to accept. They're going to regurgitate information to you, and you're going to understand it if they're good. A medium is going to rock your little world. They are going to give you information that you didn't know. They're going to blow you away because it'll all make sense. The storyline, the way that it comes through to you, you know that your loved ones are present in that moment. More importantly, you know that there is such thing as an afterlife and your loved ones are at peace. To those of you who are like, oh, well, actually, Joe, and I still think, well, if that's the case, then a psychic is a medium and a medium is a psychic. In the same instance, a kitten and a puppy are both cute. They are not the same thing. You can't say that a psychic and a medium are the same thing when they operate within completely different sectors. This is where the common misconception on this planet starts. Because you have people who address themselves as being a medium when they are working psychically. What can I say? There's mainstream schools that are educating this. People are paying for courses and being told this. So you've got to understand where the confusion's coming from. I don't blame these people. I don't blame the people who are practicing this. Because listen, right? What you've got to realise is 90% of this population are empaths and they want to help people. The other 10% are still empaths, but they don't want to help people. The 90%, even if they're getting it wrong, they're still trying to help. You can only blame someone if they know they're doing it wrong, which is why I highlight things in the way that I do. I don't single people out. I don't penalise people. I don't punish them for the mistakes that they make. If I understand and know for a fine fact that they are deliberately doing it wrong and they are being deceitful, then I have a very different stance on the matter. Because people like that, they need to be told. They need to be stopped. It needs to be silenced. Because then the rest of us who want to do a good service and want to help the spirit world, we become tarnished with the same brush, all due to their arrogance. Let's get a drink. So we mentioned there about the difference between a psychic and a medium. I know I got a little bit animated, a little bit passionate. However, we've just explained there the most common ways you are going to enter into that mindset of mediumship. There are many, many different modes, right? However, I think that there gives and sets for the rest of this video. I would like to know in the comment section, actually, what is it that brought you to mediumship? Because I can guarantee it's probably one of the things that I've just mentioned there. It's either you've got the intrigue, the bug of intrigue. Wants the spirit world to have you with intrigue? Once you've seen a paranormal activity for your own eyes, or you've seen something that's unexplainable, once you've seen that, you can't unsee it, and that's when the bug begins. I know it's a horrible way to think of it, right? But I say it like this. It's the hook of intrigue. If you think of like a fishing hook, once you've seen the spirit world, or you've tasted, or you've felt, and you've sensed, and you've felt that unconditional love wash all over you, it's like that you've been hooked, and you can't forget it. You want to learn more. You delve deeper into it. You want to nourish as much as you can as that mediumship pie, because it feels good. You don't care about the calories. You don't care about the fat that you put on. You want more. You want more. You want more, which is good. It's absolutely great. Or grief. There's one thing that I need to mention with grief, though. The other of the options, it's quite more natural that you're going to find intrigue at some point in your life. With grief, it's more hard-hitting. It's something that can't be avoided, something that in most cases you didn't know was coming. Therefore, what that does is it effectively catapults you into wanting answers, and you want answers quick, you want answers fast. You may have even found this, and you may be of the assumption that overnight you're going to get the answers that you need. The reality of it is that isn't going to happen. This blueprint, this entire blueprint that you're gaining, is going to give you the foundations to start connecting. It's going to give you... But mediumship, my friends, it doesn't matter who you watch, it doesn't matter what you listen to, who you believe. I can guarantee you now with certainty, there is a divine time for everything. And we as a human being, through our right to free will, we can't dictate, we can't prophesize when that divine time is going to be. What we'll have to do is we'll have to put the hard work in. We'll have to allow ourselves healing time, especially when it's grief. Because intrigue is... When it comes to intrigue, naturally, you're going to want to know more. Naturally, you're going to want to learn more. Naturally, you're going to be able to do everything that you see other people doing. However, when it comes to grief, it's more personal. It's not a case of you just doing it because you feel like you want to do it. You're doing it because you feel like you have to. You have to contact your loved one. You have to have those last words. You have to speak to them. And what that introduces into the mix, what a lot of people don't realise, is the wants, needs and desires to control mediumship. Mediumship's like a flow. Think of like a flow of water. It's just going to naturally go downstream. Yeah, there's nothing stopping. It's just going to naturally flow beautifully. And that's how we have to work alongside of energy. We have to let it flow through us. We have to effectively channel that water. We have to channel those vibrations. We have to take what we need from it, from our clear senses, to be able to speak it. But when we are grieving, it becomes a whole new breed of animal. When you force something in life, it doesn't work. And I know you don't want me to say this. And listen, this isn't a cop-out, because it doesn't matter whether you're grieving or whether you've just got the bug of intrigue or any other thing. I'm going to give you the tools in this episode. By the end of it, if you haven't skipped parts, if you haven't missed sections because you think you don't have to watch it, I know for a fine fact that you have what it takes to become a medium. Why wouldn't you? Because every person on this planet is already a medium. You're already psychics. The difference is when you know and you can prove how you are using those senses. And I think that's where a lot of people get confused. A lot of people believe that a psychic and a medium are the same thing. The reality of it is, whilst you are all born psychics and mediums, you have to know where you are getting your information from. Please don't try to force mediumship. Please, I know you're hurting. I know that it's painful. I know that you're suffering. I know that you just want answers. I know that you just need to know that they're all right. Listen, let me just tell you something right now, right here. Your loved ones in spirit are absolutely fine. They're not worried about themselves at this point. They are worried about you. They are worried about you. They want you to be able to heal. A lot of people get this wrong. A lot of people think that the spirit world are crying in spirit and having the worst time of their lives. Some people believe in heaven, some people believe in hell. The man-made concepts to control and govern. I don't believe in any of them. There's a one universal energy that each and every soul returns back to. Instant transition as well, I may say. A lot of people believe you're trapped. A lot of people believe that you wander this earth plane with no intelligence. Don't believe any of that nonsense. That is just mankind trying to terrify the living daylights out of the living. The spirit world, as soon as your heart ceases to exist, the energy part of you, the soul which is confined within the stomach area of all living beings, will whisk back over into energy. It's instant. People like to make and prove it. We literally do readings where people have passed over in that second. And as you're doing a reading for somebody, you're telling them, oh, sorry, like, we've got your Auntie Norma. She's telling her she's passed. No, she hasn't passed, Jordan. I've just been speaking to her. Well, no, I'm like telling you, she's now and she's passed. She's speaking to me. And they're like, no. And then they come out and then you see them crying after the reading. And they're like, how did you know? That's because it's instant. It's these people who are telling mankind that readings, it takes a transitional period of 6 months before we can contact the spirit world. Shut the hell up. You are barefaced lying to mankind. I'm telling you that now, and I'm calling out any medium on this planet who is telling grieving human beings that your loved one can't come to the phone, is on holiday and they don't want to speak to you. I'm calling every one of you liars, because you are barefaced liars. Just because you can't connect in those moments, do not put the onus onto the grieving person to say that their loved ones aren't there. Own your mistake. Tell the person that you can't connect in those moments, and I'm sorry. You've got to think about it like this, right? Can you imagine how it must be for somebody who has lost their loved one? They have heard about this concept of a medium. They've heard that mediums are gifted and specially chosen by the spirit world, which we know that's not the case. Everyone is born a medium and everyone is born a psychic. It's what you do with it, what is going to set you apart from other people's with the understanding. They've heard of this concept. They know that this is going to be the answer to their prayers. They know that their loved one in spirit has engineered this meeting. So we head off hundreds of miles on this quest for answers. We get toe-to-toe with the medium. We can't believe our luck. There was space in the diary. We've had to pay a little bit of amount of money, but the money aside, it doesn't matter for the evidence we're going to get. We're now at peace. We now know that this human being in front of us is going to be the one that's going to tell us something, going to confide in us. And then the medium sits there and goes, I'm sorry, your loved ones can't come to the phone. They're on holiday. I'm sorry, there must be a curse within your family. I can't get the connection. How many times, right? And I know there's a lot of you thinking that that's a joke, but I'm being genuinely serious when I've heard mediums who've said that there is a 6-month transitioning period for spirit world to adjust into their new scenery. What the hell? It's not new scenery. We are spirit. We are energy beings. It's our home. We don't need to adjust to it. As we live out our materialistic existence, we accommodate and acquire what we call the flesh suit, the vessel. This is the adjusting period, like this. This world is where we are constantly adjusting. Not in the spirit world. It doesn't change. Energy, we go exactly straight back to it. Think of a magnet. For those of you who kind of think of it as a difficult concept, think of the spirit world being the positive end of a magnet. And think of the materialistic plane being the negative end. You know how they attract? Well, that's exactly how energy works. It's just going to attract straight into it. How do you think that person now feels? The individual who's travelled miles didn't believe in the concept of a medium, but then they heard of it. They then fully trusted it. They went along with the idea, believing that it was going to give them the clarity, it was going to give them that little bit of peace of mind back in their life, restore that lost void, try to fulfill some of that pain, that mental, emotional anguish, the suffering that they are going through. How do you think this person now feels, knowing that this medium who is meant to know what they're doing? Because in that moment, they don't know that the medium's wrong. They believe that the spirit world genuinely doesn't want to come to them. They believe that they have a curse on them. They believe this. And it's all down to the ignorance of the medium, not accepting or wearing their mistake. And this happens, sadly, right, all across this earth plane. I hate to say it, and I hate to be the one to flag it up. The majority of mediums see this and don't say anything about it. And every one of you who are getting this blueprint, you need to watch out for it, because this is not something that we are going to tolerate. When we see this, when we know this, we, as a family, as a message, can put this right. Help, Heal, Serve is the start of something big on this planet. And that's not my ego speaking before anyone says, look where we started, look where we are now, everything I've said has come into fruition. This is just the beginning of this journey. Help, Heal, Serve will long outlive me. When I'm off this planet, there'll be people all around this earth plane who'll come round to the way of thinking that mediumship isn't a game. It's not a laughing stock, and it started here with us. We're not messing on no more. We aren't letting vulnerable people be exploited. We aren't allowing vulnerable people to have mankind's trickery and scammery to effectively tarnish an entire populace of people who want to help. We need to do what's right. And by doing what's right, it's acknowledging and accepting that the spirit world are 24/7 by your side. Every time you go for a mediumship reading, every time you step on stage, every time you walk along the street, the spirit world are by your side. Yes, they're not telling you how to live your life. You don't want them to do that. You want to live your own life. That is the purpose why each and every one of us are here, my friends. We are here to learn. We are here to evolve. We are here to spiritually grow. And by doing that, we go through the motions of life. We ride that roller coaster, the ups and downs, the twists and turns. That's what we're here for. The spirit world aren't here to wipe our backsides. They aren't here to do that for us. That's our journey. I think the next thing that we need to speak about is your consciousness. Your consciousness is, as you live out your earthly existence, it's your awareness in the present moments. It's your awareness of the decisions, the right to free will that you have. We have to understand and acknowledge that when it comes into mediumship, this is going to play a pivotal role. The awareness that you have, the consciousness as you go through your earthly existence, it can become a problem. It can become a very big problem. We have to distance ourselves from everything that's going on in the materialist world by becoming present in a specific moment, by following some of the techniques that we're going to be going on later in this video. But your consciousness, your constant being in awareness, your constant state of being in fight or flight, depending on the situations that you face, can become an issue. And I see this time and time again. People don't realize the distinction between your consciousness, your awareness, being present in a specific moment, and how it can actually affect or sever a connection to the spirit world, more importantly. If you are consciously aware in this moment now, you are listening to my words. You are watching everything I'm doing with my hands. You're probably thinking, bloody hell, this kid's a lunatic. What on earth is he doing? Is he doing some sort of weird sort of thing? But the reality of it is, I have you present in this moment. You are listening. You are ready to receive with each and every word to which I'm speaking. This is being present in the moment. However, there are some times when you are present in a moment where it will become very difficult to receive information from the spirit world, i.e., perhaps you are doing something that takes your undivided attention. You are focusing on maybe driving. Some people hear spirit when they're driving. I do, but in this example, we're going to go with this. You are driving. You can't switch off. You're alert with every single second of every moment. You have to be paying attention to everything that's going on around you. Therefore, that becomes a problem. Or let's just go to another example. Perhaps you are doing an activity like swimming. You are doing some sort of sports activity where you are running. Your body is in a constant state of alertness. You are constantly, each and every second of every millisecond, your body is in a different state. This can become damaging when you are trying to communicate with the spirit world, because what we need to do is the entirety of your awareness shouldn't be on what is happening around you. We effectively need to switch off from what's happening around us and go within. We need to be internally paying attention to what's happening to our extrasensory perceptions and our Clair abilities that run through the human form. What is the soul then? I know I briefly mentioned a bit on it, and it was a little bit naughty of us. I shouldn't have mentioned the soul off. Well, I'm saying that, right? Listen, at the end of the day, sometimes me ADHD, I'm all over the place, right? And the spirit world will be saying something and I'll be saying something. But a quick synopsis of the soul. The soul is the energy part of you. It's not who you are. I know that sounds a little bit complicated, the fact that there's two separate entities. There is yourself living in the materialistic, and there is also an energy part of you, which has been there from the moment you took your first breath, and sadly, it will be there at the moment you take your last breath. I call the soul a snitch. And if you think of it right, it is. It's going to grass on you. It's going to tell tales. And effectively, everything that you do in this life is capsulated in the soul, the energy part. And it's like a flash imagery. It retains everything that you've done for the entirety of your life. Takes a snapshot of the entire timeline, and that will return back to spirit as part of a life lived. A lot of people get it mixed up. A lot of people believe that the soul goes back to the spirit world angry, jealous, with hatred, corruption. That's why the concept of there being evil spirits are. Mankind are likened the human world to the spirit world, and it's so uncanny. You think about it, you have soul contracts, don't you? No, you don't have a soul contract. I can prove and guarantee that every one of you who find this video, you do not have a soul contract. You did not choose this life. If you choose this life, then you would not be looking at the Mediumship channel. You would have not lost no one. You would not have financial issues. You would not have mental and emotional issues that you've went through for the entirety of your life. That's not how this life works. The reality of it is mankind likens the spirit world to our world. And they couldn't be so far wrong. We have left and the right, we have the good and the bad, we have all of the hatred and jealousy and the corruption on this planet. Why do you think then? Why do you think that we have it on this planet? We come from the spirit world in what I call cliques. There are thousands of souls that come down and accommodate vessels. Why do you think that we have corruption, anger, jealousy, greed? We have people fighting, we have torment, we have mental anguish, we have suffering, we have pain, neglect, we have lots of horrible earthly emotions that we will experience on this planet. Why do you think we have those? Why do you think? It's a product of the brain. The brain is what gives you the right to free will as you traverse the journey of life. It gives you the ability to make conscious decisions, turn left, turn right, take the job, don't take the job. You get where I'm going with this. The brain is what contains these narcissistical traits. Each and every aspect that you're thinking about now that is horrible in someone is not come from spirit. It's come from the being. The product of the environments they've went through. It's a product of the brain. What happens when the human body ceases to exist in the materialistic plane? Where does the brain go? Where does the brain stay? It doesn't go back to spirit, does it? You don't see brains flying around. You don't see bodies floating around going into heaven, do you? No. And I'll tell you the reason why. Because it dies, it rots and stays on its body. It served its purpose. It's only a vessel. And I say that, I don't mean that in a nasty way. And you've got to respect your body. You've got to look after yourself. You've got to... I mean that wholeheartedly. But in the grand scheme of things, it is a vessel that you have accommodated as you traverse the journey of life. That's all it is. Once you return back into energy, the snapshot will be taken from the soul, the snitch, and it'll go back over into the spirit world as part of a life lived of the soul. The soul is what's learning. The soul is going through all of the different experiences. You will come down here many more different times, but you won't be you. You won't have any account. It gets a little bit complicated because we do have past lives. However, that being said, right, a lot of people believe that there is such things as past life traumas and past life regression and all of this. Let us be open and transparent and frank. Mankind love things that they cannot prove. I could say to every one of you, you've got past life trauma and that's why I can't find a relationship. And a lot of you would be like, oh, that makes sense. No, that's an excuse. Don't listen to mankind when they can't prove something. If somebody comes up to you and says, look, I can prove with evidence of the afterlife, like of me, and I prove with evidence of the afterlife to you, then that's their evidence. Believe it. If somebody comes up to you and says, well, actually, yeah, you were a Comanche chief in a past life, and I can see that you lost your priestess, and that's why now you are finding it hard to connect in a relationship. And you're like, oh, that makes sense. No, it doesn't make sense. It does not make sense at all. What's happening in there is you are being sold an idea, you are being sold a notion that somebody cannot prove, that cannot back up the words to which they speak. And then in that present moment, you have unfortunately fell victim to this person's scammery. And I know a lot of people don't like me saying that, but hey ho, it's the way it is. The truth comes out. The truth is being told. I speak what I want. At the end of the day, right, there is a lot of practices on this planet that need highlighting to people, because there are a lot of people who follow them religiously, handing over their hard-earned cash, believing that it's an answer to a problem when the problem is them. We have to give people the tools to be able to help themselves by being honest with people, by giving people the tools to be able to help themselves, by not making excuses, by not telling them that there was a dragon that once slayed them in a past life and that's why they've got a bad back. What the hell? Like, am I the only one that sees that as a problem? Because I shouldn't be. I know there's going to be a lot of people out there who've been brainwashed into this concept of past life regression and going into your Akashic records and going into all of these different things. What you've got to realise, right, with people like myself, I don't tolerate nonsense. And I know I might offend a lot of people, and I might even offend a lot of people who have been, minds have been bastardised into that way of thinking. The reality of it is, not one of you can prove anything to which you speak. You can't prove that this person had died in a past life and they had a traumatic episode and that's why they can't find love. What we should be doing is saying, you, my friend, you need to work on yourself. You need to learn why it is you can't find love. And that's how you find answers. That's how you help people. You don't sell them an idea, package it in a way that's going to be beneficial to you to make more money out of them. Coming over to the Akashic records. This is another concept mankind have, where you can literally just jump in and jump out and take information that you want. Let us just bottom something out before we even go any further in this video. The reality of the Akashic records, right, is a file of facts system. Just think of a file of facts system, and it's got loads of different events from your past life where you as a person, as a medium, you can train yourself to go in and take information from. Right, let's just stop there a second. The soul does an exceptional job of not drip feeding you information from past lives up until the age of 6 or 7. Because during that time, you haven't been told what is right or what is wrong. Or if you have, the suppression, the control of mankind hasn't really taken over. So up until the age of 6 or 7, you will remember past lives. There is documented cases of people remembering them. So that there, my friend, is when the soul in you are transferring information. That being said, the older that you get, the more suppression you block it all out from happening. So does that mean then, as life goes on, and the more you try, the more that you stop mankind's suppression, that you will start learning your past lives? No. The reason why the soul drip feeds you little bits of information at that time is very simple. That's because of the way that you are. You as a being are underdeveloped. You are grown each and every second of every moment of every day. Therefore, your brain is developing in those moments. Think of it like this. To those of you who still don't fully believe in what I'm saying here, or you don't like what I'm saying more importantly, you think of your life now, from the beginning of your life to the end where you are at now. I'm not saying it's the end of your life, but to where you are currently at now. You think of that entire timeline. Think of the mental pain, the anguish, the suffering, the injustices that you faced. You might even be poorly at this point because of all of this mental anguish and frustration. You might have things that are still lingering with you now that you can't forget. You may have medical conditions that have been brought on by some of the experiences you've had. Okay, hold that moment. For each and every one of you who believe that you come to this life, you come to this planet with those problems, magnify that you have experienced this lifetime so far by 7 or 8 lives. You would be a nervous wreck before you even begun. There is the proof. That is the fact. You do not come to this life with problems. You come here as a pure soul. You come here to learn and go through the emotions of life. You don't come here with past life traumas. Or you would be a nervous wreck at the beginning, wouldn't you? I've just proven it there with a basic little bit of logic. I know a lot of people don't like that, but the people who don't like it are the ones who are selling you courses and taking your money off you to buy into the idea, to buy into the theories that you can go. Listen, when you get comfortable with mediumship and you understand how to connect and you understand the person that you are, there's nothing stopping you working alongside of the soul. But it isn't going to be giving you past life traumas. It isn't going to be giving you, punishing you for past lives and that. Like, it doesn't work like that. I know I'm very opinionated and I know you probably don't believe us. But listen, I'm not one of these people who just talk the talk. I walk the walk. You can watch any one of my videos. You can ask any one of the thousands of people I've already helped on this planet. I don't do this because I want to be liked. And I mean, if I did, I'm doing a very bad job of it, aren't I? Because I could have come onto this platform, right, and preached what every other medium preaches. I could have had massive numbers. I could have just not, instead of valuing my own wants, needs and desires and values and core ethoses to be able to help the spirit world to connect to mankind for the everyday person, I could have just followed the normal meta. And I could have just sang along like every other medium, or I could have just followed in the traditional styles of mediumship, and I would have had an even bigger following. But the reality of it is, I don't care about people liking me. I don't care about big numbers. I don't care about... All I care about is getting the truth out there and helping the everyday person to be able to connect. By doing that, sometimes I have to tackle topics that are very sensitive. Sensitive because it hurts people where they make their money. It's like coming in, not to go too far into it, trying to stay on topic, but in reality, it's like when you think of Reiki and many other different forms of practitioners where you've paid a lot of money into it. I'm not saying Reiki is a bad thing. What I'm saying is you should not need to pay for it. You should have never needed to pay for that. You've always been connected to energy. The entirety of your lifetime, you've always had a connection to energy. We can prove that. Each and every one of you would empathically have been attuned to something. The fact that you've searched for Reiki tells me that you are already searching for energy. Therefore, mankind have seen a way of exploiting people. They've called it Reiki, then there's level 1, 2, 3, Reiki Master /3945, and I despise it. Because there are people, one person actually reached out to me and said she had spent 1,000 and something pound, and she still hadn't connected to spirit. And I was like, well, of course you're not going to connect to spirit. You're listening to mankind. You're not following your intuition. You're not listening to spirit. You are following the nonsensical notions of mankind by conducting and performing and executing these rituals. I know a lot of people like Reiki, right? But again, I'm not here to be liked. I'm going to tell it exactly how it is. Unfortunately, Reiki is one of the biggest lies that each and every one of you are going to face. The lie being... People tell you that you need Reiki to become a medium. You need Reiki to be able to feel energy. You need Reiki. The reality of it is, Reiki is but something you already know how to do. If you were given the understandings, you would have used it more effectively and efficiently. It's the same with tarot cards. Like when it comes to Reiki, I prove this time and time again. When you get a box of tarot cards, you should throw away the instructions book. You should throw it away. Because the instructions book depicts the person who created the cards in their moment and how their connection was, right? So when you start to use their connection and you've learned their understands, there's a conflict of information coming through. Okay, we'll all understand that concept is very, very simple. Let's come over to Reiki. You already know how to work with energy. Then, like that instructions book, mankind starts selling you courses. They start selling you this, chakra alignments, chakra attunements, all of these different things. And to any one of you who follow those notions, I mean you no offense, but I don't, just because you follow them, I don't buy into them. I really don't need to buy into them. I can prove and disprove each and every one of them. Your chakras do not get blocked. Your chakras do not calcify. You do not need to unclog your chakras. Each and every one of the energy ley lines that run through the human form, my friend, are designed with one primary purpose: to allow continuous flow of energy. That's not what mankind will tell you though. The chakra system as well is a lot more vast than what mankind let on. However, the mankind have kept it pretty basic and pretty simple, so we just stick with that. However, if you want to know about the in-depths of the chakra systems and all of these different things, that's why we've got a development circle. It's a little bit more deeper knowledge than what you're going to learn on here, because it gets a little bit more complicated. We can't just put it out for the public. It's going to cause mass confusion and hysteria. See, I know, right, there's probably a part of you that hates me mentioning Reiki, right? But there was a school that reached out to us, very well known in the United Kingdom. And let us just prove something. Let's just prove a valid point here. I pride myself on wanting to help everyone. I don't care what race you're from. I don't care what background you have. I don't care what languages. I want to help everyone I can. That is my duty, my responsibility. I see is my personal self. That's what I want to do. In this school in the United Kingdom reached out to me and asked me to stop speaking on Reiki. I mean, quite cheeky of them, to be quite fair. Like, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, they were very used to people bowing down to them. They're a big name. Oh, I'll back off. Well, the problem is with people like me, like, I love a challenge. And when somebody tries to challenge me, I always win. And that's not an ego thing. That is just a fact. Looking back through my entire lifetime, I always win a challenge. Until I win, I don't give up. I'm like a dog with a bone. And this school had reached out to me, and unknowingly, they clearly didn't have a connection to the spirit world, because they wouldn't have even engaged in this battle. Because it's not just me. I have the spirit world behind us. I have the realms behind us. It's not like it's me on this solo battle. It's me with the Help Heal Serve family and the spirit world and realms. Like, that's an unstoppable force, my friends. That there, my friends, that isn't something you mess around with. That there is something that is here to stay, and that there is something that has grown each and every second of every moment of every day. And this school reached out to me, right, and said, we would like you to stop doing videos on Reiki. Do you have a guess before I tell you? Why do you think they wanted us to stop? Why do you think they wanted me to stop doing videos on Reiki and exposing the truth about it? Do you think it's because I was going to cause people harm? Do you think it was because the understandings I was putting out were a bit out there, and it could have caused people to become confused? It could have caused people to harm themselves or not knowing what they were doing. No, I'm going to cut you all the chase. It was to stop their monetary profit losses. Yeah, that's how much they care about you. That's how much they want you to succeed in life. That's how much they want you to be able to connect. Now, this is a big organisation. Sorry, the energy gets really intense. This is a massive organisation. I have the full email train. And at some point, right, because I know they watch these videos, at some point, I will expose the living daylights out of the entire corrupt system that they've designed. And I'll show that as part. I'll do a full video on it. I'll break it down into a documentary, and we'll have a little bit of fun with it. And I'll show you the email of correspondence that I said. I'll show you what I sent back, the lovely words that I sent back. Because I look after each and every person. I'm not here for specific people with money. I'm not here for specific people who I believe want help. I'm here to help everyone. And sadly, that's not what these schools want. They want a select few. They want the people with the most amount of money that they can brainwash into believe in whatever traditional ways they want to carry a specific message or a narrative that they want. It's crazy, isn't it? Sometimes when wouldn't it be lovely, like, if everyone on this planet just wanted what was best for everyone? And there was no skullduggery, there was no backstabbing, there was no bitching, there was none of that. It was just literally, I want to help you to get to here. The best way for you to get to here is to go from A, B, C, D, E, F. Instead of, oh, well, if you go to point A and pay me £1,000, I'll get you to point F. When it's a lie, you've got to take the baby steps. You can't force mediumship on someone. It doesn't work like that. They've got to learn it for themselves. Mediumship's not something you can buy. It's something that you learn. When we speak about the spirit world, every one of you are going to have very different understandings. You're going to have very different concepts, theories, depending on the way that you've been brought up, depending on the way that you may have been in religion, you may follow a specific practice, you may follow a specific way that your family has told you, right? When it comes to the spirit world, let's keep it basic. Let's keep it simple. The spirit worlds are realm 1. Realm 1, think of an onion. My fist is now an onion. The core center of that onion is the spirit world, the raw energy. Wrapped around, we have realm 2, realm 3, realm 4, realm 5, realm 6, and realm 7. Every one of the realms is a little bit more intense. Not because they're scary, but the energy feels a lot more intense. I work with every one of the realms. The realms are naturally what mankind depict as being demons. The reason why I don't call them demons is because I don't need mankind's horrible name tags. Literally, mankind, well, I still believe that in this day and age, right, if little green flying saucers come down and says, we want to make your planet green, we're going to help you, and we're going to get, that's, by the way, that's my alien voice, we're going to give you all of the tools for free, and we want to help mankind to succeed, we would just blow them out of the sky, because we don't want to learn what they have, we don't want to learn anything about them, they become a threat. And this is what happens when it comes into the spirit world, right? The realms become a threat. Entertainment start depicting them in a way that they believe mankind want to see them, right? The realms, I'm not saying that you should work with the realms because they are very different spirit, but I'm also not saying you shouldn't work with them. You shouldn't believe mankind's theories and notions when it comes to them. However, you know, it's not for everyone. It is quite spooky. There's videos where you'll see I'll have things pulled off my shelf, so on command, like not like just on their own, or I'll have lights like above switched off, and it's like it can be a little bit more. I would say if you're into the paranormal side of the things, then definitely work with the realms, because the realms are so valuable when it comes into paranormal sort of documentaries and filmmaking, because they can do so much. The spirit world can as well, but I think with the realms, it feels a lot more like you're wearing it a lot more. It's a lot more anxiousness. It comes out on camera. It's really good. So that there is your realms. Remember, spirit being the core, and then you have the wraparounds. Okay, we also have what is called angelic realms. So this is where your archangels and your angels are. Your guardian angels are going to be... One of the things that you've got to realise with guardian angels and spirit guides and all of this is within the spirit world. Guardian angels technically aren't angels. And I know that's crazy, but a guardian angel is anyone that you want it to be. It could be your granddad, it could be your grandma, and that is your guardian angel. It's just a figure of speech. It's the same with all angels and archangels. Because the way that they're depicted by mankind, the only reason that I use mankind's terminologies for it is I don't believe in God. I don't believe in heaven and hell. I don't believe in angels. However, the energy I can prove I work alongside of is what mankind would depict as being angels. That's the reason why I bring it forward and package it in this way. Because a lot of you might be quite like miffed the fact that I don't believe in, but yeah, I say I work with archangels and angels. I know that because of the energies and the difference in frequencies that I can feel and sense in what they can do for me. That there is a quick rundown of energy. Each and every person, right, who passes over from the materialistic into the spirit world, instant transition, baby. There is no waiting about. There is no getting trapped. There is no missing the spirit train off the planet. I know a lot of people believe, well, if somebody took their own life or they've done this or they've done this, listen, no. Let's not go down that way. Somebody's poorly, somebody's sick, do them ailments go into the spirit world with them? Definitely not. They are the physical form. How, like, that's what, honestly, right, there's some crazy concepts on this planet that even some world-renowned mediums speak. How can a spirit, the soul, take ailments to the spirit world? The ailments are constructed within the materialistic flesh. They can't go to the spirit world. Yes, as part of the life lived, is evidence form, the spirit may say, look, I had a bad leg, I had a bad back, but that doesn't mean to say they've still got them in spirit. That was literally part of the physical form that had failed as they went through their earthly existence. It's crazy some of the concepts and notions that some people who are on big platforms spread Because it's no wonder that mankind are confused. It's no wonder that mankind don't know that there is such thing as a spirit world. What happens when we die? When the physical form ceases to exist in the materialistic plane, what happens is the energy force field that is all around you, called an aura, which many psychics like myself and many other people can see them. We actually have a full tutorial video on how to read auras if you're interested. But when that aura stops, when the beating heart stops, what happens is the soul, the energy part of you that resides within the stomach area, is like, listen mate, I've loved this journey, but I'm off to go back to my family. Because the soul wants to be back home. The soul literally can't wait to get back to energy. So therefore, for the entirety of your life, think of the aura all around me now. And my fist is the soul. It's banging off the aura. It's imprisoned by the auric field. It's bound to the human form. Very similar to, you know how we have a Bluetooth on mobile phones? And you use that Bluetooth to pair it to a specific device. And when you do that, it's security settings so nothing else can tap into it. A bit like me watch. Me watch will only pair to me phone. No one else can tap into me watch. Well, it's the same with the soul. As the soul's paired with the human form, nothing else can come in, nothing else can steal your body, and it can also not leave. However, that being said, there is only one time when this theory, this notion, it has a little bit of a turnaround. And I'll tell you the reason why. It's when you allow your soul to leave your human form through astral traveling. This is where your soul will leave the human form. You do stay alive. It's like an agreement between the soul and the human form. It's like saying to the soul, I know you're going to come back so you can go out and learn. For those of you who've done astral traveling, I actively encourage it. It's amazing. It's beautiful. There's many famous people do it on a daily basis. It's nothing I've started. It's nothing new either. It's absolutely great and amazing. We've actually got full videos on it as well if you want to try. But that's the only time that the soul will leave the human form and it will go out, learn, and it'll come back. I mean, I've actually walked across the moon. I've brushed my hand across the pyramids in Egypt. Never been to these places, but astral traveling, it's fascinating the way that you see the world. It's completely, colours are vibrant, the smells are beautiful, the tastes are amazing. It's completely different. It's nothing like that you've become familiar with. So I would definitely encourage that. However, that being said, right, when it comes into the soul leaving the human form, it's instant over into the spirit world. There is no illnesses taking over. There is nothing at all of that nature. Just like when you come to the planet, you don't have illnesses. You don't have these. The human form may have illnesses, but the soul doesn't have illnesses. I think it's amazing, right? The spirit world show me, or they've shown me, like, what it looks like when you leave the physical. However, that being said, I've never actually went through a near-death experience. I can only tell you in my personal way that the spirit will show me. This could change from person to person. I'm not saying that this is factual. I'm just saying it's in my personal opinion, the way that I've seen it. But what happens is when the soul leaves the human form, we go into what looks like a big white light. Now, that's very common. Everyone knows this. That's not theirs new. And I'm not saying it's because you're going into white light. The reality of it is, it's when you leave the physical and go into the energy, that's where the burst of white light comes. It's like effectively going into a new veil. You know, when you have, the shown is this, you know, when rockets come from outer space and enter into our atmosphere and they burn up. Well, that's the same with when we go back into energy. That white flash is effectively like our soul merging back in energy. We see the white flash. Then what happens, we have like this big tunnel in front of her. And to the left and to the right, we've got like a catalogue of different photo frames all the way along. And I know photo frames are very human, but what happens with these is, if you've ever watched Harry Potter, this is the only way to kind of, you know, on Harry Potter, when you're walking past one of the photos that are hanging, and then all of a sudden you see like the heads moving and following you, or showing like a video of one of the very, very first ways of pictures, but being visual, showing you what was happening in that scene. It's beautiful. You're walking along and you'll like see when you were born, and you'll see everyone who was there. You'll feel and sense the emotions that were there, the people, how they felt around you. You'll then go a little bit further along. You'll look to the other side and you'll see your very first girlfriend or boyfriend and the emotions you went through. And it's like different stages of your life, and it just plays out. And when you get to the end of it, that's when you've went through what mankind effectively called the soul review. You've looked at everything you've done. You've realised things that you've done good, things that you've done bad. And then at the end of it, you go back into the energy. Well, you're technically already into the energy, but what I mean is you're going to embark back and embrace fully alongside of the energy, if that makes sense to you. But that there's what happens when the human form fails to exist in the materialistic plane, and the energy part of you whisks back over into the spirit world. Now, there's 4 differences that we need to speak about. First of all, the human vessel. This is the vessel that we accommodate as we go through the earthly existence. This is something that we have the right to free will. We can turn left, we can turn right, we can make conscious decisions. Subconsciously, we're going to be thinking about things. You, my friend, through the right to free will, can do whatever you like. We also have the mind. The mind is the rational thinking. It's the way in which you are going to be able to perceive a situation, to be able to react to a situation. And that is also going to be something that's going to be constructive in your development. Consciousness is going to be the awareness of the overall mind. This is going to be consciously aware, thinking rationally, irrationally in some cases, of what if scenarios. How could we counteract a situation if it happened in this way? We need to be on the ball with each and every second. And the soul is effectively the blueprint. It is the fingerprint to the spirit world. Every one of you, when you go through this life journey, you all have a very unique fingerprint. Well, think of the soul as being your fingerprint to the spirit world. Get what I'm saying? And what's crazy is the spirit world say every time that you come down onto this planet, that fingerprint is going to be the same for the soul. You get what I'm saying? So every time you come back down, you're going to have the same unique fingerprint. It's something that's going to be dominant and persistent throughout the entirety of every one of your life journeys. Whilst, yes, I mean, we can't really prove it, can we? But that's what they're telling me. It's effectively like the unique fingerprint. Your soul is the unique fingerprint to you, and each and every human being has a unique fingerprint to them. Therefore, the soul and the fingerprint are one. What is a spirit then? So a spirit is a life lived. It's somebody who has had an earthly existence. They have went through the motions of life. They have went through the emotions, the turmoil, and then their life has ended. That there is a spirit. Some people call it a ghost. Also, we have guides. Guides are going to be people who are there to specifically help human beings as they go through their earthly life. Guides have had and been on this planet before, many, many, many of times. Energy is all around us. It's like the air that we breathe. An abundance of scientific equipment can prove of the energy realm's existence. It's not just me, it's not just a handful of others that see it. Energy is all around us. And that's how we as a medium communicate with the spirit world. The energy will come to us. We will use our Clair senses to be able to perceive that information, to be able to speak it, more importantly, and to bring forward irrefutable proof, clarity, direction, and purpose of the afterlife. One of the biggest things that a lot of people ask is the difference between residual energy in spirit communication. I, for one, can prove and know that the spirit world are intelligent. There isn't echoes of time. There isn't residual passages of time tapered into the stone and tape theory where there's trapped voices and echoes in stone and wood. What happens is if the spirit world want you to know something, or they believe that you want to see something in a specific way, they will do that for you. For example, like I've got footage where a lot of you will see, right, if you like this video, I'm going to be putting out a video in a couple of days' time where we done a paranormal investigation at Nelson Land Sea and Air Museum. And in that, the evidence we got was exceptional. I haven't watched it for about a year. I completely forgot all about it. And yesterday I watched through it and we were literally getting gunshots. We were getting planes coming down. We were getting gunshots in the distance. We were getting Germans speaking to us through paranormal equipment. Documented evidence of ITC, instrumental transcommunication. And what you can actually do with that is a lot of people would say, well, is that just residual? Is that just because it's echoes of the past? Is that just because like some of the equipment in that location had attached to it? The reality of it is no. It was intelligent communication. The spirit world even says, you're going to love this. And then they literally start shooting guns and all sorts, like, because they know I'm like a kid in a candy shop. That there is intelligent communication. The spirit world don't get trapped in time loops. The spirit world don't get trapped in specific places. And the spirit worlds don't stay where they die. This is another misconception. They're literally everywhere. Honestly, like they're everywhere, every space, anywhere that they want to be, they can be. There is no place out of bounds for them at all. However, to those of you who are like, oh, that's a bit creepy, they might watch us on the toilet. I mean, they don't waste their time doing things like that. Let's be honest, like, why would they? You just don't need to worry about stuff or when you're getting intimate or your personal time. They're not watching, they're not creepy in that respect. But when you are coming up to major milestones or parts of your life, they will be there by your side. They will just literally effectively just drop in and drop out. That's the way that they're meant to do. I suppose then we're coming to this question. Who can become a psychic medium? Could you be one? Could I be one? Could Jane from down the street be one? Yes, you're all born psychic mediums. You are all born with the abilities and capabilities and skill sets by design to become great mediums. The only difference is the understandings. Understandings are going to make or break a medium. What you'll find is in the stereotypical way of teaching on this planet, it's all based around money, quick, making money schemes rather than generating evidence schemes. If you say to a medium, can you bring forward evidence of the afterlife? They'll say yes, and then they'll do a reading, and you're like, well, that's not evidence, that's generic. That there, you've just asked if I had a male or a female in spirit. So first of all, that's a 50-50. So you're playing a guessing game. I'm going to tell you a little secret. And a lot of people don't want you to know this, but I'm going to tell you it. You, my friend, can become a medium. You can become a psychic. You have what it takes. You've always had what it takes. You don't need mankind's approval to become a medium. You don't need mankind to pacify your wants, needs and desires to be able to learn how to become a medium. What you need is direction. Clarity, direction and purpose. The 3 pillars that I want each and every one of you to memorize. I need you all to enforce it before you go into a reading, before you start learning, before you remember. Clarity, direction and purpose. And the next thing, which is probably more important than all, is should you protect? Should you protect from something that you want to work with? Should you protect from your loved ones? Living. Should you protect from your best friends? Living. Should you protect from people that you trust? Living. Of course you shouldn't. So why would you protect from the spirit world? You have to protect from poor understandings and bad teachings. And unfortunately, this planet is saturated and in abundance with misunderstandings, egotistical practitioners, and theories, wants, needs and desires that do not serve you as a person, do not serve your needs, do not fulfill your needs, your potential to be able to become a great medium. What they will do is they will suppress you at every avenue. Do not protect from the spirit world. Protect from poor understandings and bad teachings. And I know a lot of people are put off by that. A lot of you. And what I'll say is right, we are spirit. We, energy-wise, are already spirits. Therefore, why would it make sense that spirits wanted to harm you? It doesn't. Ideas, theories, entertainment will harm you. Believing that there are things that are out there that are going to harm you will indeed cause you harm. However, that being said, right, let's look at it a little bit different. I get it. A lot of the time you've had experiences with the spirit world or you've watched Hollywood depicting it and something may have happened to you where you've gotten scared. You may have seen a door close on itself. You may have heard banging or knocking and all of these different things. The reality of it is, at that time, think back to it. At that time, did you have a good understanding about spirit? Did you understand that there was nothing to fear? Of course you didn't. And that's why fear will manifest. If you don't have a good understanding with any aspect of life in itself, then you are going to generate fear. When you generate fear, this is when you effectively sever the connection to the spirit world and your authentic connection stops. You start to feed yourself. For example, I heard a banging upstairs. And then the next minute, you hear a banging downstairs. It's literally just the taps, it's the pipes, it's your heating up. But now you've heard one, you've told yourself, you've planted that seed. Now it's paranormal. Now it's getting crazier and crazier and crazier. I know I'm not for everyone, right? But all I'm going to say to you is, if the spirit world wanted to harm you, and wanted to harm me, and wanted to harm each and every person on this planet, there is not a prayer, a notion, a theory that could prevent us from being eradicated. There's nothing. If you think that a little gemstone or a crystal sword or a cellulite towers or black obsidian or sage or smudge or music or is going to warn off spirits if they wanted to harm you, then I'm sorry to tell you, but that's really funny. To me, that's really funny. Because when you understand that the spirit world are an unseen foe, which are highly intelligent, that makes no sense. That a little bit of smudge, a little bit of a prayer. And by the way, before anyone says, well, hang on a minute, Jordan, that's just because you don't believe in a religion. Yeah, 100%. 100%. I do not believe in anything that mankind tells me I have to live my life in a specific way to be loved. I have to do this in a specific way to be loved. That there is mankind dictating you how you should be living your life. That there isn't no religion. That there is mankind's way of controlling you, manipulating you into following a set standard way, or you won't be the devout person that this religion wants you to be. Yes, I don't follow that. I believe in the divine. A lot of people ask us what my beliefs are. I believe in the divine. This is an energy that I can prove that I work alongside of, which is more logical to me to work with because it's personal to me. And I don't have mankind telling me, you have to do this, you have to do that, or this. Because listen, to any one of you who find this video, right, know this. If you do believe in a God, it doesn't matter what God it is, know that that God loves you selflessly. It doesn't matter what you've done. It doesn't matter who you are. God loves each and every person. That is the concept and the idea of there being a God, isn't it? We all want to be loved. We all want to know that there is something out there bigger than ourselves that wants us to succeed in life. Yet we all have the right to free will. So there must be logically something in the universe that's creating human beings to be able to go and have life experiences. Therefore, to me, there is a God, but it is not the God that mankind wants you to believe in. Anything that has been touched by the fingers or ideologies of man is a for me. Because I know and I can prove how mankind treat one another. I can see through the corruption. I can see it's the wants, needs and desires of the next person to have their own stamp on it. It's no different to like having a new boss coming into your place of work. When somebody new comes in, you just know, you're all like, oh, what's this person going to be like? Because it's two things are going to happen. They're either going to be a lovely person and they're just going to crack on with their job, or they're going to come in with a fist like a hammer and they're going to start absolutely tearing the place apart because they want people to know who's boss. That is the same when it comes to anything that is touched by the fingers of man. Mankind want it to change to suit themselves, the narrative of the person at that time. So yes, forgive us if I don't believe in religion in the way that mankind tell me to believe in religion, but I do believe in a higher power, a higher source, and not the source that you put on your food. I work with a higher power that I can prove on a time and daily basis, where I prove with evidence of the afterlife. That's what I've proven. That to me is more special, it's more personal. That's not to say that you have to believe in a divine. Again, it's like a personal thing to me. The divine is everything to me. The divine is the creator of everything. The creator of life, the creator of energy, the creator of this moment here where I am in front of the camera, the creator of this idea that's been packaged as blueprint to help mankind to be able to heal. That there is everything to me. So yes, I know I don't believe in religion, but I technically do. It's just in a little bit of a different way. What we need to establish now then is building trust with yourself. It's very difficult to be able to build trust with the spirit world if you don't trust yourself, if you don't believe that you are worthy of a connection, if you don't believe that the spirit world would want anything to do with you, if you don't believe that you are good enough, if you have swallowed the ideologies of mankind and you are in this place of deep contemplation and you're finding it difficult to claw out, it's very, very difficult for you to connect the spirit. Therefore, that isn't a problem to you. What I want you to do is repeat after me. I am good enough for spirit communication. Repeat it. I am good enough for spirit communication. It feels good, doesn't it? It feels good saying it out loud. It's like we're not hiding from it no more. It's like, well, we are allowed to be. We are becoming. How many times have you wanted to say something like that and it feels wrong? It feels like you shouldn't say it. Don't be scared of it. You've got no excuse for that now. I will be great at spirit communication. Say that. I will be great at spirit communication. And start telling yourself that. Because once you trust yourself, that's when we start to work with spirit. Now, building trust with spirit's a little bit more difficult. Because whilst we can trust with self, trust in spirit is a little bit more different. Because we have the ideas, the notions, we have all of the different theories that mankind have polluted each and every one of the minds on the populace with, of there being nasty spirits, prankster spirits, lower vibrational density energy spirits, the horrible prankster. And it's like, how can I trust that? The one thing that I'm going to say to you now, right, is think about who it is, what it is in the spirit world that you want to connect with, whether that be a loved one, whether that be your great aunt, whether that be your dad, whether that be your son, whether that be your mom, whether that be anyone now. What I want you to do in this present moment now, as you are listening to my words now, I want you to think of who it is that you would like to connect to in the spirit world. And all I'm going to do now is I'm going to ask that loved one to share their energy, their love, their emotion with you in this second. And I need you to encapsulate that. I need you to welcome that. That there is now your protection. That there, that feeling that you have, that comfort, that is your trust. Your loved one isn't going to let you down. Your loved one isn't going to bring any harm to you. Your loved one, in this moment now that you are feeling, your loved one is present with you in this moment and they are allowing you to sense and feel their emotions. They're your protectors. You don't need protectors. You don't need it. But for you to be able to build trust quicker, this is the way I want you to think of it. Like, this is the quickest way for this blueprint. I need you to think of a loved one. I need you to think of how they were in this life, how protective they were, what they would do for you, all of these different things. If you can't think of it off the cup, then all you need to do is just simply allow spirit to fuel you with that energy. Feel it. Feel wrapped. Feel it as it envelops your human form. Feel how different you feel now, knowing that you are good enough, and also that the spirit world aren't going to let any harm come to you. They are not. That mindset will, but the spirit world want what is best for you, right? We are breaking away from the nonsensical notions of mankind. We are cutting away the fat. We are cutting away the grizzle that has been put before. And now we are gaining a connecting. We are gaining an authentic connection, more importantly. A connection. I was meant to say that, Spirit, I'm laughing at that one. To be fair, we've been on for an hour and 18 minutes, so we're doing all right. You now have the trust with Spirit. You've done a simple exercise where you've spoken out loud and you've welcomed the idea that you are good enough. You've now just realised that the spirit world will not let no harm come to you. Becoming present is something that you'll hear a lot of mediums, a lot of gurus, a lot of spiritual people talking about, but it's very diluted in the way that they'll say it. Because everyone can say, you need to be present in the moment, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this. But in reality, it comes over your head like a water on duck's back and you're like, well, am I present now? Is this what it's meant to feel like? I'm going to show you here and now how you can force being present in a specific moment within milliseconds. right? It's a feeling. It's a feeling that you need, but I'm going to be able to help you to harvest that feeling so you can use it whenever you see fit. What I would like each and every one of you to do now is listen to each and every one of my words, and as my voice starts to slow down, what I would like you to do is pay close attention to my hands. Watch as my fingers are beginning to move. Then, as you are watching, I would like you now to think of a message. Think of something you would like to say to the spirit world. And then you are going to ask me to go and fetch that response. And at random, I'm going to pick somebody's message that comes to me through the power of energy, and I'm going to speak it out loud. And I want you to be ready and awaiting the answer from the spirit world. Just keep paying attention, keep paying attention. Have you asked your question? Good, because you're not getting the answer. I know, you think I'm horrible, don't you? But that there is more important than giving you an answer. What I've just done there, in that moment, you know where you are waiting, you know where you are like, crap, is he going to bring up mine? How does he do this? How does he do this magic? It's not about doing magic. It's about showing you that you already have the magic you need. It's about showing you what being aware and what being present feels like in that moment. How did you feel? The anxiousness, the nervousness. Is he going to say my name? Is he going to say my family's name? In that moment, I had you capsulated. You were all mine. In those very moments, you were listening to every word. You were ready for my response. This is what I need you to bring into mediumship. That feeling, that sensation. That there is what is going to catapult you into your mediumship development. It is going to give you that authentic connection. It is going to give you the information to be able to speak and articulate on behalf of the spirit world. It's magical, isn't it? That there is being present. In those milliseconds, you could have heard a pin drop. And that's what is being present and aware in a specific moment. That, my friends, you can replicate any given time, any given place, any given way. You've just done it yourself, straight away. All I need you to do the next time is when you need to become aware, is just simply remember the feeling. Is he going to answer my question? But apply that into spirit. Are they going to answer my question? In pick up that awareness, that presence of mind. The next thing is going to be setting intent. Intent's one of the biggest ways of communicating with the spirit world. If you don't place intent, you do not know what's happening in those moments. You don't. You could be working with spirit, you might not be. A lot of people say open to work, close to work, ready to open and closed and all of these. Listen, stay away from all those terminologies. It gets very, very repetitive and very complicated. All you need to know, keep it basic and keep it simple. That's the way that this works. Are you wanting spirit communication? Okay, then you are asking for it. If you're not looking for spirit communication, anything that you believe you hear, anything that you believe the spirit world are trying to tell you or show you, you have to dismiss. That's the way that you condition your mind. It's all right. Some people are like, oh, well, the spirit will talk to me every day of the week, Jordan, and they just talk to us and it's great. And it's like, no, it's not great. That is not great. That there, right? When you become a medium, you will see how damaging that is. Because having the spirit world talking to you 24/7 is a bad idea in development stages. The reason being is you need to know when it's spirit or of your own mind. If you don't know the difference, then how are you going to be able to ask spirit questions? You don't know if it's your own mind. You can't have spirit talking to you 24/7. Like, you can't. It's physically impossible. At some point, you'll have spirit talking to you. Then at some point, it'll be your own rational thinking, logic coming in. We need you to know the difference between logic, the way that you think, and what the spirit world are telling you to say. You can only do that by you calling the shots. For example, today is Saturday. It's now 12:40 in the United Kingdom, and I'm channeling for the spirit world. However, let's go to a different scenario. I'm sitting here playing a computer game and the spirit world are talking. What do? As a practicing medium, what you should do is you should say to the spirit, stop. Not interested. And I know you think that's horrible. And I know you think that's disrespectful. And I know that you think, but that's what you think. I can prove that this is what you need to do. You need to fully understand when it is of spirit or when it is of your own mind. That's why you get a lot of people who go into mediumship readings and they panic. They don't understand something, because when the spirit world are speaking, or when their mind's speaking, they get a no. And the spirit world will say, oh, will you tell that I love the new car that they've just getting? And then their mind says, was that a new car they got, or was it a motorbike? And they say, oh, I love the new motorbike you got. And the person's like, I didn't get a motorbike. And they're like, oh, and they freak out. That's because the condition of the mind was non-existence within the development phase. We need to hone it in. I would recommend to each and every one of you to have dedicated time. I know it's difficult, right? Like, listen, I know it's difficult in the world that we live in for each and every facet of who we are. We all have very busy worlds. We all have very busy lives. Get that. But the work that you put in, believe me when I say this, the spirit world put 4 times the amount of effort in. They do. Every single second of every moment of every day, they are getting you signs, symbols, synchronicities. They are getting you everything that you need. But our awareness, our perception of that, we aren't accepting it. We aren't acknowledging it, more importantly. What we need to do then is we need to have a dedicated place where we can sit, we can work with spirit, and in those moments, everything that comes through, we can then accept it as being the spirit, and when it's not. I would recommend you to start 30-minute sessions. 30 minutes of a session, just sitting in a dark room. You're going to do a couple of breaths. And when I say breaths, don't follow all of the advice of these gurus where you're doing like 25-minute meditations and stuff. Listen, I'm going to show you now how simple and how quick a meditation is. Breathing in fully, holding it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale. That's it. I'm now ready. Everything around me is starting to slow down now. This is something that you can train yourself for. This is something that you can do yourself. You don't need to sit there for 25 minutes before you start communication with spirit. I would actively encourage not to do that, because that is time you aren't going to get back. It's time that you aren't going to be able to recoup. Each and every second of every moment of every day, your time is precious. It's the most precious thing that you have to yourself for your own journey. Therefore, we need to use it effectively and efficiently. Cut away practices that don't serve you. That being said, do that breathing technique that I've just shown you. Go into a dark room. I say dark because it's better in a dark room, not because I'm ghouly in, because I think it's more spookier. We can eliminate any light pollution. When you go into a meditation, right, and when you're sitting with spirit, more importantly, what will happen is you'll start seeing loads of weird signs, loads of symbols, like you'll see drones and you'll see spirit like talking to you and you'll see faces coming up. And what you don't want in that moment, you don't want like light coming in from outside, because then in your mind you're going to be like, oh, well, that was a car just driving past. We need to eliminate that. We need evidence. We need you to start believing in the experiences that you're going through. Therefore, we stop anything that's going to disprove it before it even becomes a problem. I would also recommend, right, if you are going to do this, maybe play a little bit of music, like meditation music. I do have videos on the channel that you can go and watch, but you don't want to do it with no headphones. I would ideally get some big headphones that just fit over your ear, so it kind of cancels out the noise. I mean, I've got some. These are what I use. These are a little bit high end, to be fair. I wouldn't recommend going and paying £100 for headphones. I think they're even more than that now. However, the point of the reason why I'm saying get some of that style is because the cushions that come around, they're going to eliminate any sound disturbances. In the same respect of with light disturbances, we don't want anything to destroy this connection. With these, we don't want any sounds pulling you out, like Jane down the street decides to pull her bins out just as you're getting into a meditation and you're about to shake a spirit's hand. You don't want that. So always use protection on your ears and for your eyes. And I would say, for those of you who don't fully know how to place intent, I've got this method that the spirit world taught me. It's very difficult when you're thinking of the spirit world, if you haven't connected to them, like what to expect. I remember the first time that I genuinely said, I want to be a medium, and how am I going to be able to do this? Like, who do I ask for in spirit? What do I ask for in spirit? Is there a special code word? Is there a special slang? Is there a special thing that's going to activate a connection? And I always remember the kind of feeling lost. And it took me quite a while to be able to find my feet with realizing it's actually very normal and very human-like. It's like a normal conversation, how you would ask me a question and I would ask a question and we would go back and forth. That's what it's like working with spirit. I found that this is one of the quickest ways to be able to place your intent. You know, like how Batman has a bat signal and that'll alert people in the vicinity, in the area, that there's a problem, and Batman comes, no, that's Superman, Jordan, come on. He'll go flying or whatever Batman does, I can't remember now, and he'll get to the scene and then he'll help out. Well, what I want each and every one of you to do, right, is to imagine a flame. And in your mind's eye now, close your eyes, right? And in your mind's eye now, what I want you to do is to just imagine a flame burning bright. I want you to see this flame like a candle flame. I need you to see the yellows in it. I need you to feel the warmth coming off it. I want you to just watch any specific glows that are arising from it. And you should see the bottom of the candle. So you're seeing the top of the candle, and just the flame coming up. That's the most important part. There needs to be no airflow going to it. It's steady. It's a solid flame. When you see this in your mind, this means you are ready to connect with the spirit world. That is you summoning the spirit world. That is you effectively saying, look, I'm here. I want to communicate. Do that, and then you know you're communicating. Anything that comes after that is the spirit world. However, if you go to do that and that flame is flickering, now imagine that somebody is blowing on the flame and it's fighting with the oxygen. It's like that flickering away. That there is the spirit world saying, actually, don't connect. There is something wrong with you, not with us, not with the connection. There is something wrong with you. Work on your breaths or something along that line. You might be falling poorly. You might be very under the weather. You might be very tired. Many different scenarios that there could be for why the spirit world would tell you, look, don't do it today. It's not because they don't want to speak to you. It's because you aren't ready to receive. Therefore, if that's the case and you've seen that flickering flame, then what we would do is we would take another deeper inhale, hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale. And then we would look for the flame again. And just keep doing that until you see the flame steady. That's literally the way that you place your intent. That is the intent being placed. We've spoken about awareness. We've spoken about intent. The spirit world know that you are aware, ready to receive. The intent is being placed. The spirit will know that you want to be able to communicate and receive and back and forth communication. There you go, folks. We're nearly there. One of the biggest things that I think when it comes into working alongside the spirit world is knowing your own energy. I would recommend to each and every one of you to do what's called a body scan. When you're going to go into a meditation setting, we're not going to do it here, but I'm going to talk it through. You know how we've just done the awareness and the intent? What I want to do, or get you to do, the next time you get a moment of spare time and you've put time aside, for example, it should be like maybe 5 o'clock every Friday, or just a constant consecutive time where you are going to always go and train in a specific place at that specific time. Once you've got that, right, what I want you to do is make no excuses. Always attend at that time. That is your commitment to the spirit world. That is your commitment to your service. Obviously, you're going to have times where you can't, where you're poorly or you can't make it. That's fine. Just don't make excuse after excuse after excuse. Be realistic with it. If you're wanting to connect, if you're wanting to put the hard work in, you're going to get the rewards. If you're not going to put the hard work in, you're not going to get the rewards. It's literally that simple. But what I would expect you to do is the first time that you connect, rather than asking spirit to come forward and to effectively tell you what you need to know, I want you to go into that setting, into that sanctuary, into that safe place. Give yourself 30 minutes. And all I want you to do is to be comfortable within your own skin. I need you to feel along your body. Just sit there and body scan, effectively taking your consciousness and your awareness from the top of your head, slowly bringing it down the entirety of your body, your human form. And does it feel different? If you're sitting in the meditation, right, and you are paying awareness to your forehead, you might be like, oh, it feels a little bit dull up there. And then you might come down to the eyebrow region and you might go, oh, it feels a little bit warmer there. Then you may come down to the nose. And you get what I'm saying? You're going to do a full body scan. Becoming aware of a body scan is becoming aware of your Clair senses. Your Clair senses, which we haven't really mentioned yet, we're going to be coming into, are what the spirit world are going to send you information to, which you are going to be able to perceive and be able to speak. What we need you to do is to bring your awareness to the overall general areas. In this video, it's not going to be targeted. I need you to become aware of the general area first, so that you can just start communication. With time, what will happen is rather than becoming to a general area, you'll pinpoint the area. You'll know exactly where that Clair sense is, and you'll be able to get information in that moment. Crap hot. No ifs, buts, what ifs. How do humans receive information from the spirit world then? It sounds almost sci-fi like, doesn't it? That we as human beings are going to receive information from an unknown source to be able to speak of. Well, what if I told you it's not as crazy as it would seem? Because we have unseen energies, we have unseen things all around us in this present day that transmit radio signals, and we don't see those radio signals being transmitted. Think of a mobile phone. Mobile phone's primary purpose is to receive and send signals. How many of you, when you call your mum, your dad, your son, your sister, your niece, your nephews, your grandma, your granddads, your girlfriends, your boyfriends, how many of you pick up your phone, type in the name, use intent, make the call, and see the radio waves being transmitted? You don't, do you? So when you're thinking about information coming from spirit to the human being, and you will liken the human being to this phone, it becomes less sci-fi and more of real life. Because we can liken the medium to being this mobile phone. The human form, oh, then you smashed my glasses. The human form, I've just done it again, twice on camera. Spirit, like, where did we find him? The human form, I'm going to use this hand so I don't hit my glasses again. The human form is very similar to a mobile phone. We are designed with a primary function to be able to perceive, send out information, and be able to receive information. Receiving information psychically, sending out information mediumistically. If that's being said then, how would it look using a mobile phone to explain that analogy? Well, let's come over to the mobile phone. Let's just unlock it. First of all, I want to call someone. If I was calling somebody using this device, how would that look in mediumship? Well, in mediumship, we are going to become aware, aren't we? So being aware would be me thinking, I need to make this call right now. Then I'm going to place my tent. I'm going to find a number to call. Let's find a number to call. Okay, that's my intent locked. I'm then going to press call. And then I'm going to use the presence of this moment, and I'm going to become aware, ready to receive. That there is why you aren't as different as you may think to a mobile phone in terms of the connection. The spirit world, the energy that comes to you, is going to be coming from spirit, pre-packaged, and it's going to enter into the forehead region, and it's going to be dispersed along a tentacle-like web of spider webs around the entire human form. It's called the auric field. If you think of like the nervous system of the human form, this is the way the spirit will show me. If you think of the nervous system of the human being, you've got like primary nerves, and you've got like loads of little nerves that come off. That's the same as the auric field. If you think now, like, I know it's a bit creepy, but if you think now of like loads of like spiderweb like tentacles all around me right now, that there are like the nerve endings of the auric field. They'll constantly search for energy. Therefore, when that information comes in from spirit, it comes in and then it gets channeled through every one of these little nerve endings, and it'll go to different senses within the human form. I'm not going to give you all of them, right? Because to be honest, it's completely irrelevant in this video. I want to get you connected. I want to give you the blueprints for the connection. Once you start connecting using these blueprints, then you'll start learning all of the rest of them. Your main ones are clairvoyance. That is seeing the spirit world. They're going to show you depictions. They're going to show you a scene. They're going to show you all of these different things. You have clairaudience, which you are going to audibly hear the spirit world. However, there is a little bit of a difference to clairaudience. A lot of people believe it's just hearing the spirit world. They can also manifest within your mind, like a song or speak to you in your mind. For example, if you think of your most favourite song and think of the tune, think of the melody now, think of it playing out in your mind. That there, my friend, isn't being played in real time. You are now using clairsense. You are using clairaudience, and you have generated that noise. That's where the spirit world will also speak to you. We also have what's called claircognizance. Claircognizance is the ability of all known. This is where you will just have these impulses. You will just know. You know that you are connected to spirit. You know that you can feel spirit. You know that you can see spirit in a specific moment. And we also have clair empathy. Clair empathy is going to be where emotionally you are attached. You also have clair sentience as well. So we might as well just throw that in. And that is where you're going to be able to sense rather than feel. Also, we have clair vagueness. This is something that you need to stay away from. This is where you're very vague with any of your answers that you give. And we also have clairaudience and clairgustance. To be fair, though, I shouldn't have really mentioned the last two because they're taste and smelling. It's very rare in mediumship that you're actually going to be able to smell something or taste something and be able to bring that forward as evidence. You could, in a mediumship reading, if like a loved one was coming through and they says, oh, look, I loved to bake blueberry pies. They might let you taste the pie and you might go, oh my God, that pie is amazing. And then the loved one will be laughing going, she did make really good blueberry pies. Like, but again, like that's one of the things where I'm not really like, I don't jump up and down and tell people to try and chase those two clair senses. You do need to be able to refine all of them. However, they just aren't really in this video's top to do. Let's get you basic and running with some of the more basic ones. That's how the energy is going to come down to each and every one of those clair senses. Your body is already naturally aware of the clair senses. They're already fully working, they're already fully refined, already fully. However, the refinement is finding through awareness where the clair sense is. Remember before how I said I was going to bring you to a general area? I hate that word, but I'm going to bring you to a general area. With time, with refinement, instead of becoming aware of the sense in a specific area of interest, you're going to go direct to the exact location, which is going to refine that connection to that clair sense. I hope you've understood how the clair senses worked. I hope that you can see it's not so far out of reach. It's not Hollywood. It's not a depiction. It's something that's very, very natural. It's something that's going to come naturally to you the more that you do it. What is evidencing? It's everyone's got their own opinion on what evidence should be. I've heard people who've said that evidence has to be uplifting. Evidence should be something that makes this person feel happy. And to those people, I say, what the hell are you going on about? I honestly do. And I mean that from the book. I don't mean to be nasty there, but what are you on about? A reading doesn't need to be happy. It shouldn't be uplifting. The medium does not put their own spin on it. That's not what makes it personal to a person. A medium at no point should be interjecting their own thoughts, feelings and views in a reading. For example, they should be switching off, allowing the spirit worlds to use them as a conduit to a message. They should be the instrument for the communication. We shouldn't be dictating how a reading ends. Like, for you, as the medium delivering the information, you may think that this person is not going to like what you're about to say, but that could be what this person needs to hear to make their day. You don't make that judgment call. All you do is you speak. You tell the person in front of you what they need to know on behalf of the spirit world, and then we leave it at that. But so many people believe that evidence has to be uplifting. Evidence has to be special. It has to be made to look, and listen, it's not. It's really not. Evidence is hard-hitting. Evidence is life-changing. I'm yet to do a reading where I've done thousands of readings, but I'm yet to do a reading where I've ended on a positive note. And that's not because I'm a nasty person. That's because you will be told what you need to know and not what you want to know. You go to a reading and you expect to be told something that you want. The reality of it is you get told what you need to know. That's never happy. No one likes to be told what you need to do. No one needs to be told that the relationship is going south and you aren't acknowledging it. You can't let this person treat you like that. No one wants to be told that. But as the medium, you can't dictate whether that should be the final outcome. You have to just speak it. This misconception that evidence comes in many different ways, shapes and forms, like collective evidence or like throughout mediumship. The only thing that should be thrown out of mediumship is that word. Not one person should exercise that as being a foundation of mediumship. Do not throw out mediumship. Do not just randomly select people and say, can I give you this bit of information? No, you can't. Come to us when you know my loved one is with you. That's what I say to those mediums who are practicing that in schools and telling people to use it because it's easier. It's easier than going to somebody and saying, I've got your loved one with this. Can you take this? That's what they're doing. What they should be doing is they should be going, by the way, you on the middle row there, I've got your Uncle John with me. Your Uncle John says he's not happy about this situation. Why have you just left your house? That there is life-changing. That there is mediumship. Not throughout mediumship where you're going, can you take this? Can you take that? Do you know anything about this person? Has anyone in this audience lost anyone? Well, they've all come to see a medium. I would imagine that one person out of them is definitely, you can't, that's not mediumship. That's not evidence. Evidence is clarity, direction, and purpose. I know I've said it several times in this video, but that there is the new beginning. That there is the new age mediumship. That there is when we bring quality control back to each and every reading. We give people hope. We give people the emotional healing that they need. We give them the tools to be able to do this for themselves. That there is what is going to change mediumship for a long time, my friends. Step away from the people who say, like, listen, honestly, right, if you hear anyone saying this as well, stay clear, stay well away from them. My guide tells me this. The spirit world tell me this. My angel tells me this. In that moment, what all of you don't realise, in that very moment, they have created a safety barrier. They have put between them and spirit this barrier. Because when they get it wrong, they say, well, my spirit guide told me this, so they're wrong, not me. The medium is 100% fully accountable for the words to which they speak, not the spirit world. The actions come from the medium. The spoken words come from the instrument. Therefore, the instrument is at fault, not the spirit world. Don't believe these people when they are telling you that the spirit world are wrong. The spirit world are never wrong. Human beings get it wrong, but they don't want to put it right. They would rather blame something through their own arrogance than accept that they've made a mistake in those moments. And we see it time and time again. I guarantee there's going to be some of you out there who know people who say that it's their spirit world who are telling them and this and it's that, and they've just got to give it. I've just got to give it. I've just got to tell it how the spirit will say it. Well, if that's the case, you would be saying it right then, wouldn't you? The spirit world aren't wrong. The spirit world can't be wrong. The medium is always wrong. And by accepting that and acknowledging that, we can put it right. We can show people that that is the case. You don't have to be nasty to people. You don't have to want bad things for people. But just by helping people understand that we as the medium, we are the ones who are wrong, not the spirit world. That's how we are going to change this. That's how we are going to bring mediumship back to the everyday person. That's how we are going to make it beautiful once again. Not me. Not help heal serve, not the spirit world. You. Each and every one of you are the pioneers of this message. Each and every one of you are the ones, the pillar stones of this community. You are pondering it all together. Go out there and speak your truth. Go out there and when you see that mediumship's being done wrong, you speak it. Don't be scared to. Don't be ashamed to. Like what mankind have wanted you to be. It's not being a negative person or a nasty person calling somebody out. Doing it for the wrong reasons, it is. If you are just deliberately doing it because you want to cause them harm, it is. But by correcting somebody when they are wrong, that is not a bad thing. That is helping them along their journey to understand that they're wrong. You shouldn't just appease people. You shouldn't just say, oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about there. If you don't understand something, say it. You're not a horrible person by doing that. If you went into a car sales room and you didn't want a car, you would say it. If you went into the mobile phone shop to buy a new phone and you didn't like the phone, you would say it. So why is it being socially conditioned through every human being on this planet to not speak out when something's wrong in mediumship? It's not natural that. We'll have to turn it around. We're not being nasty. We're helping people to be able to grow. That's the way you need to think of it. If you think of it as a nasty thing, you need to think of it like this person who's getting it wrong. You need to help them to get it right. By doing that, it's not by telling them the right. It's by telling them the wrong. Then Their ego will either get involved and they won't put it right anyway and they'll blame you, or they may look at the work that they're doing and they may think, well, actually, hang on a minute, 5 people have told me in the last week that I'm doing it wrong. Maybe I am doing it wrong. I'm going to go back to the development stage and I'm going to refine my craft even more. Where's the harm in that? What's wrong in that? Why isn't that not the normal way? There's going to be times across mediumship where you're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have days where you have the spirit world by your side and you can feel them, you can sense them, you can almost taste them, and it's absolutely magical. It's amazing because you know that that energy's by your side. And then you're going to have days where you feel they are not. Get used to it. It's normal. It's not that there's anything wrong with you. You haven't lost a connection. It's just some days as a human being, you're going to feel more connected than you are on other days. That's just the reality of it. Don't think for 1 minute that you are being punished, you are being penalised, that the spirit world have given up on you. The truth be told, they don't need to give up on you. You give up on yourself. It's only you that can make this happen, and it's only you who can stop it from happening. Therefore, no excuses. Don't be feeling sorry for yourself, little world's smallest violin, when it's not going right. You keep working hard. You keep putting the effort in. You keep using that willpower, that determination. If you want mediumship, you go and take it. It's like anything in this life. You want something, you work towards it, you take it. You don't sit there manifesting. You don't sit there wishing. You don't sit there hoping it's going to happen. Because the reality of it is you'll be hoping a long time. You'll be manifesting a long time. The wants, needs and desires of success for the individual comes at a cost. That cost is your hard work, your efforts, your combined force. Wanting each and every second of every moment of every day to continuously pursue mediumship. Even through the ugly, when it seems like you're not going nowhere. Because believe me, my friends, there's going to be days where you feel like you've made progress. This is another thing. You might do like a meditation that goes absolutely amazing, where everything just seems to slot into place. Everything feels right in those moments. You have this amazing meeting of the gods. You're accepted. You're welcomed into this absolute ballroom of spirits, and you're all dancing and singing and la-di-la-di-da-da-da-da. The next meditation, it's not going to be like that. You're going to chase that first one. Don't do that. You need to come into it, each meditation, each connection, with an open mind. Do not try to predict how it's going to work. If you are predicting, if you have any sort of human control over an outcome, what's going to happen? We are forcing it. What happens when we force something? Doesn't work. Not in the way that we want. Please know that every experience is something that you should honour. Every experience is something that you should document. Each experience that you go through is going to be different to the next. You're never going to have the same. Never, ever in mediumship development are you going to have 2 days alike. Every day is different. But just remember, I'm going to ask you something now. And this might get a bit personal, and I mean it no offence. But why are you wanting this? You've watched to this part of the video, so hats off to you. Remember to smash the like button. Why do you want to do this? Be honest with yourself now. Why do you feel that now is the right time? Why do you think that you can do this? What is it that's making you want this so bad? And I need you to know every answer that you've just said. And when this gets difficult, when this gets tough, when you feel that you can't go on, when you feel that you've got nothing left to give, remember what you've just said there. Because that is going to be the little fire that keeps burning in your stomach. That's what's going to give you that motivation to continue. Of course you're good enough. You know you're good enough. You can connect. You're being given these blueprints to connect. There is no ifs, buts, what ifs, possibilities about it. You have what it takes. Only you can stop the connection. Not spirit. You. So remember, we put our big boy and girl pants on. And what we do is we continue. It doesn't matter how difficult it gets. It doesn't matter how tough it gets. It doesn't matter how dark the path seems. You have the Help Heal Serve family. There's not an excuse for any one of you. When I had to do this from being young, I didn't have people I could turn to. I didn't have big communities to support us. I didn't have a big family around us of Help Heal Serve who all wanted the same. I had a loving family. I had a loving network. But I didn't have people around us who understood what I was going through. Yous don't have that excuse. You have me and you have this family. So you can't have that as, oh, well, you know, it's hard for me, it's difficult for me because I have no one. I'm sorry, excuse. We get rid of that. You've found this channel for a reason. It's time to learn for a reason. And you're going to become a success because you're going to put in the hard work. Just remember, when it gets difficult, which it is going to do, we use everything that we've learned to our advantage. And we continue to smash and plow through mediumship like there is no tomorrow. We don't force it. We don't put a time limit on it. We don't pressure spirit to forge a connection. We don't do any of that. What we do, we simply allow, wait. And with each and every second of every moment of every day, we document anything that we experience. What we're going to do then now is we're going to do your very, very first connection to the spirit world. This, my friends, is going to be your first interaction alongside of the energy. I hope that you're in a place in which that you can actually perform this entire part of the video. If you can't, maybe pause it and come back when you're in you've found yourself a little bit of a safe place. What I need you to do, right, coming from the beginning, is we need to find a place that you feel comfortable. A place that is going to be noise-free, it's going to be light-free. You're not going to have any disturbances that are going to disrupt this exercise whatsoever, because I need you fully encapsulated with this to be able to help you to have this connection. By the way, you can repeat this as many times as you like, and also we'll have many other videos to be able to help you to connect. And what I would like you to do now is to either place on your headphones, if you have got some, because it's going to help you to eliminate any of the noise that's going to stop you and prevent you from being able to connect. And also take away any light. So close your blinds, close your curtains, make sure that the room's as dark as possible. Again, that's not because I'm a ghoul, that's just because I want you to be able to have an authentic experience rather than thinking that it's going to be light pollution or it's going to be noise or it's going to be something from externally that's disrupted the meditation. What I'm going to ask you to do now is we are going to take a deep inhale through our nose. We are going to hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and exhale each and every last drop of oxygen from your lungs. And then we are going to one last time take a deep inhale through our nose. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and exhale each and every last drop of oxygen from your lungs. Now what I would like you to do is remember how we done the exercise with being present in a specific moment. Listen to my words as I'm speaking and find that feeling. Find the feeling of anxiousness where you're ready for me to say something. You might not like what I'm about to say. Find that feeling from deep within. And what I'm now going to ask you to do is we have become present in this moment. I need you now, as you are listening to every one of my words, I need you to imagine that flame. That flame that is burning full brightness. That flame. I need you to see it. How is it sitting? Is the flame steady for you? If you were closing your eyes and you were imagining this flame, is it steady? Is it burning bright? If it is, that's great. We are ready. Just keep it there. Keep seeing it burning steady. For those of you who it is not burning steady for, let's just repeat what we just done. Take a deep inhale through our nose. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and exhale. Now, the flame should be steady. Spirit will be working with you in this moment. Remember, if it's flickering, Spirit are telling you not to do this exercise yet. Take another breath. Pause the video if you need to until you get that flame steady. Don't worry by unpausing it. It won't break the cycle. Just imagine it and picture that flame steady. That is your beckoning call to the spirit world. Now that we have controlled the flame, now that we have controlled our intent, we can see that the spirit world are giving us the green light. The flame is now steady. The connection is ready to take place. What we are now going to do is we are going to say to the spirit world with confidence, with conviction, I am ready to work with you. I am ready to work with you. And I am now going to say my piece as a tutor to the spirit world and to the realms. Don't worry, the realms aren't going to be working with you for the foreseeable unless you want them. It's something I do to get the best out of this exercise. They work with me. I'm not asking them to work with you. I would like the spirit world and the realms to work with me on this exercise, please, to help each and every person to find their connection by using these blueprints. Veni ad me nunc in modo spirituum et regina. And as now you sit, what we should be doing is becoming very aware of a presence drawing in close. Think of energy moving in very, very slowly. I would like you to do a body scan all around. What energy can you feel? Is it heavy? Is it over cumbersome? Is it an energy that you're very familiar with? Do you know the person that is coming to see you already? Do you know the person that is in this room with you? What I would like you to do is calm yourself down. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Remember, looking for that flame. We are staying calm. We are staying composed. Yes, this is exciting. Yes, this may be scary, but we are composed. We do not need to protect from the spirit world or the realms. We have to protect from poor understandings of bad teachings. We already know that. That is one of our key foundations. What we're going to ask now is we are going to ask the energy to move in slowly to being about 6 foot away from the human form. Pay close attention as that energy starts to draw nearer. Feel it. It's almost like a burning sensation. For me, I feel like the burn of the energy, my body reacting to the energy as it's drawing nearer. Don't worry that it's a burn. It's not because it's demons. It's not because it's just literally everyone's going to react in different ways. Now, I would like you to imagine and welcome that energy moving a further 3 foot forward. It's now exceptionally close. You should be able to sense this energy a lot more prevalent on whatever side it's coming in on. For me, it's my right. For you, it might be your left. For you, it might be behind. For you, it might be in front. It's going to be very, very different. Embrace it. Enjoy this. This is your connection with the spirit world. And now what I'm going to ask is for the energy to draw so close, it's almost touching. I don't want it to touch. I don't want it to be impeding on you as a person. I want it to be just as close to be affecting your auric field. I want you to feel how your body's reacting now that this energy is so close. It's impeding on your auric field, not touching you, but your auric field that encompasses the human form. How does it feel now? What sensations are you getting now? Are you getting tingles? Are you getting vibrations? Are you getting fluctuations in temperature? Are you feeling dizzy? Are you feeling sick? Are you feeling happy? Are you feeling sad? These are all the different things that you need to become aware of, because these are what are going to become part of your development. When you feel that this energy is going to be this close, it's going to be the same with all energy. So where this reference point is, this marker when it comes to the spirit world energy, when I say spirit world energy, not the realms and not all of the other realms, or archangels for that matter, it's very different. But this energy that you are feeling now, what we're going to do is, we know that we are calm, and if you've got a little bit excited, work on the flame again. Energy's still there, it hasn't left anywhere. I need you to become aware once again and feel for where that energy is. And just sit with it. I want you to sit for it with the next 10 seconds. I need you to feel. Did you feel a difference within the sensitivity, within how it felt for you in terms of power? At a further distance, was it less powerful than what it is now? Does it feel more dominant? Is it a feminine energy? Is it a masculine energy? Do you know who this is? If you do, that's absolutely awesome. If you don't, then that's awesome also, because you're feeling something. And if you're not feeling anything at all, then go back to the very, very beginning of this. Work on your breaths, work on the flame, and then just come back into it. You just can repeat this as many times as you like. What I'm going to ask now to do, I'm going to thank the spirit world and the realms, but what I am going to do is I'm going to ask the energy that has presented itself to yourself to now touch your forehead. I would like you to pay close attention to the forehead region as the energy goes to touch. What happened in that moment? Did you feel slight? What happened to me in that moment was I felt a little bit dizzy. I felt like the energy coming in, and it touched here, and it went like a little bit dizzy for me. How did it feel for you? Was there any sensations that felt different than before? That's what we should be doing with each and every one of these. Sorry, the energy gets really intense. When we're doing this, what we should be doing is we should be documenting in our own mind, yes, I felt you there, and accepting it and welcoming it and acknowledging to spirit that we have actually felt that sensation. Speak it out loud. Don't be afraid. And what I'm going to do now is that first contact has been made, is I'm going to ask the spirit world to effectively allow every one of your senses to go into hyperdrive. What's going to happen now, if you imagine a spirit is going to enter your auric field. Don't be alarmed by this and don't be scared by this. It's nothing to be afraid of at all. Effectively imagine another human being walking into your silhouette. That's effectively what it's going to feel like. Now, what I would like you to do is pay close attention to every thought, feeling, sensation, emotion. Everything that is happening in this moment now, you have what mankind called blended with spirit. I don't use that term because it makes it sound more special than what it is, and it gives it, you're not blending with spirit. You are literally the spirit world are entering into your body. So to me, it's not a blending process. You're not blending with them. They're coming into your body. They're literally coming into your auric space. Blending would be a simple transition and a merge between energies, but we know that that's not the case. The spirit world enter into your auric field. That's how it works. So to me, there's no blending. There's nothing that you're doing. The spirit world have had permission and they have come into your auric field. That's why I don't like the term blend. Now that they are there, I'm going to play a little game. What I would like them to do is to highlight to you an image. Show an image. And I need you now to know that the spirit world are showing you whatever it is that you're seeing in your mind, whatever photograph you're seeing, whatever image that you are seeing. This is the spirit world working with you in this moment and presenting something to you. I need you to see it. If you don't see it, tell them. Don't tell me, tell them. See, look, I don't see nothing. Jordan says that you're meant to be showing us. I don't see anything. Tell them you can't see it. Take a deep breath, deep inhale. Calm yourself down. Know that you are good enough. Know that they are showing you, but we aren't aware of it. Once we've done that, again, we are going to ask them to show us a different image. What image are they showing now? Accept. Remember, the key to this is accepting. When they are showing something, speaking it out loud, accepting what they are showing. That is one of the biggest takeaways from this exercise. Making sure that you are acknowledging with spirit what you are seeing. Therefore, they know that they are showing you something and you are welcoming it. You are seeing what they are showing you. What I would like now is for the spirit world to speak. I would like them to say something. But for this to take place, I'm going to actually prompt Clairaudience. And I'm going to be a little bit naughty here, and I'm going to do something that is a little bit of a cheat when it comes into mediumship. What I would like you to do now is to imagine a song playing. Imagine this song in your mind, and I would like you to imagine the symphony, the tone, your favourite song. I don't know why the Venga bus come up there. I'm sure that's the Venga boys or something. Just anyway, all jokes aside, right? Spirit are like, come on, Jordan, let's get serious. All jokes aside, think of a song. Think of the melody. Think of the tune. Think of the rhythm. Think of the beat. Think of what makes it special to you. And I would like you to imagine that song playing. Imagine that song playing. Imagine that song playing. Imagine that song playing. Stop. Spirit speak. What you've just done there is you've just welcomed that interaction through spirit because your awareness is already with where Clairaudience needed to be. However, that might have caught you off guard. You might have not realised what I was going to do. That's not a problem. We're going to do it again. Play your favourite song. Play your favourite song. Imagine your favourite song. Imagine your favourite song. Song. Stop. Spirit speak. And what you've just used there is called Clairaudience. This is the ability of hearing the spirit world. We've done there basically seeing images using claircognizance. We've also done Clairaudience. Why don't we do for the last Clair empathy? Now this is going to be a little bit of an emotional roller coaster for a lot of you. And I don't mean that it's not for the faint heart, this. A lot of the time when you connect to spirit for the first time, I'm going to leave this for a little bit longer. It can become very heart-wrenching. It can be very sad, very happy, but sad at the same time, if that makes sense. A lot of you are going to connect for the first time to your loved ones who you've been trying to connect to for years. And this is going to hit you. It really will. What I would like you to do now is I'm going to call upon the spirit world to now use your Clair empathy abilities. I would like them to channel through you their raw emotions, allow you to know how they feel in this moment. I would like the spirit world to show you what you need to know in this moment, more importantly. What healing do you need? How do you need to move forward? Help this individual to see what they need to know in this moment. What is it that they are not paying attention to? Allow them this time now, through their dedication, their wants, needs and desires, their fulfillment to become a great medium, to work alongside of your energy. Give them this time. Allow them time to heal. Show them where they are hurting most. And I'm going to leave you for the next 30 seconds because this is going to get painful. It's okay to cry. It's all right to have been sad. It's all right to feel vulnerable. It's all right to know that in those moments you had clarity of mind and you've been able to overcome something. It's all right. You're allowed to be weak. You're allowed to have weaknesses. We aren't all designed to be Teflon. Like most people believe. Most people believe we're untouchable. There's nothing that could harm us. There's listen, we are human beings. At some point, guess what? We are going to become vulnerable. Therefore, what you've just all experienced firsthand is the spirit world allowing you and bringing to your attention through awareness states, through using your clear senses, how they feel, how you feel, what you need to do to move forward, more importantly. I would like to thank the spirit world and the realms for working with me on that exercise. I would like to thank each and every one of you for giving us the opportunity to once again be able to connect you. I would appreciate it if each and every one of you could say a thank you to the spirit world and realms, even though you technically weren't working with them. It was me that was working with them. In terms of the realms, I would still appreciate it if you could say a thank you to them. You don't have to, but as long as you say thank you to the spirit world, it's just nice. It's polite, isn't it? And it's part of you building that unique trust, that unique bond with them. This video has been a little bit of a long one. I wanted to blueprint. I wanted to smash it all out into something different. Not just a tailored course, not just something that was going to help you to connect. I wanted to... It took us ages. I'm going to be honest with you. It took us absolutely ages to be able to come up with the concepts I needed to cover, to kind of dot, the T's, the I's, got everything together to universally be able to help each and every person to be able to connect. This isn't the end of your journey. This is but the beginning. This is where you have consciously entered into mediumship. Mediumship is beautiful. It's also challenging. It's also difficult. It's also nightmarish when you're having issues where you feel you're not connected and you feel like you're not loved. But listen, none of the excuses. You found our channel. One of the biggest things I will say to a lot of you now, right? You're going to start experiencing dreams. And there's a lot of people who I speak to who start experiencing dreams. A lot of people who don't believe in the spirit world believe in the spirit world now. And that's not because I'm special or gifted. It's because I change your state of awareness. I change your state of mind. I give you different understandings. Know that your loved ones will start coming to you in your dreams. I want you to keep a dream journal. I want, when the spirit world visit you, it's called a visitation, I want you to document everything along your journey, because it's going to help you to be able to concrete some of the evidence, going to help you to be able to gel together some of the experiences to make sense of it. More importantly, there's nothing worse than having a dream of spirit and not writing it down. I'm a hypocrite. I should have wrote my dreams down with spirit. I should have. I didn't. And if there's one thing to learn from my mistake, is do not make that same mistake. It's imperative for your development to learn quicker, to be able to progress quicker, to see the stages of your development. You can do that in dream stages by documenting it down. It's why, fun fact, on this channel, like a lot of people ask us why I've got the first video I ever done on the channel when it's really bad compared to the rest of my videos. It shows me at the beginning stage of mediumship, well, not mediumship, but on YouTube, to where I am now on YouTube. And if you look at the first video to where we are now, we've come on leaps and bounds. And I think it's important to have reference points, because in mediumship, it goes in the blink of an eye. Like, I'm here now in this moment because the spirit will want me to be here in this moment. My entire development is just went in the blink of an eye. It seems so quick. It seems so quick. You don't take it in. You don't absorb it. Definitely start keeping dream journals, because the spirit world are going to start coming in your dreams. You sort of entered into this now, not like a ritual or some sort of a summoning ritual or anything along them lines. But you, through your own thought, your own intent, you have reached out for the spirit world, for guidance, for help, to be able to start this voyage of mediumship. You are taking on board their message of help, heal, serve. You are wanting to help individuals who are lost, heal individuals who are suffering from pain and grief, and to serve the spirit world and the realms. Therefore, they are by your side. You are preaching their word. You are preaching their message. And they will help you with each and every aspect of your development. But just remember, for them to be able to help you, you have to be able to help yourself. It's us that is going to stop spirit communication. Spirit communication's always there. It's always active. There is no problems. It's flawless. We are the ones who have to refine our instrument to be able to receive the information, to be able to speak with clarity, conviction, and purpose. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, why don't you consider smashing the like button, subscribing to the channel if you haven't already done so, and until the next time, bye-bye for now. Oh yeah, don't forget, check out the videos pinned at the top left and right. Till the next time, bye-bye for now.